If we start to vote at our power, if we start to vote at our population, we are a formidable group.
Winga Macuar. My name is Michelle Sparck. My Chipik name is Macuar, and I am director of Get Out the Native Vote. We are the largest indigenous populated state in the Union, and we are now at about 22% of the state's population. We make up 25% of the vote. We don't all vote the same way. Anytime a candidate or an incumbent looks at a Native person in this town or in this state and they think reliable voter, that's going to change governance for our people in the 21st century.
Welcome to Arxadica. We are an Alaska-based triplet sister-owned business. Me, myself, Amy, my sister Michelle, our other sister Jika.
I tend to speak in third person plural because I'm a triplet. Here's some triplet pictures here.
Are you identical triplets?
It says so on our birth certificates, but I think I'm fraternal and they're identical because they would do twinsy things all the time and I get so mad. Like, you're doing that on purpose. I can't always tell them apart, so I know that's me and I can't necessarily tell who's who here. My sisters and I refer to we and us a lot, and which is really great for our people because our work and our mission and our devotion is to our population. It's not about us or me or I. Alaska Natives have gone through the gauntlet of all kinds of outside interference, and we're still here. We just want to make sure that we're seen and that we count and that we are part of the decision-making process. When I talk about Region 4 and the Native vote, it's this. Conducting elections in Alaska is not easy because 2/3 of our state is roadless, and most of our villages with our indigenous peoples are in the roadless areas. North and west of Alaska is Region 4. All of this here, no roads. The fact that we can wake up in our community and find a poll open and staffed and ready to have our ballots sent back to Juneau is always an if.
3 villages didn't open for the primary on election day because the election worker fell through.
One worker.
The one worker fell through.
How many miles do you think you logged over the year?
I don't know, but for my Alaska Airlines mileage status, I'm finally a gold member. So yay! I married a New Jersey guy.
Interesting to see what people are
It's
saying.
basically a 12-hour commitment to get back to Anchorage, from here. That was my little effort to make up for not being able to be with you. If I would ever get fatigued, I'd be like, well, if Ted Stevens and Frank Murkowski and Lisa Murkowski and Don Young and Mary Peltola could do it all the time, well, so could I.
It takes a village to make an election happen, and leadership and concerned citizens have all got to be engaged because I have too many people also telling me, oh, I didn't know there was an election.
We're hoping that all of our combined efforts are going to start to make a dent in this voter apathy, and we're encouraging our people and our young adults who are going to be stepping into leadership roles eventually to vote like our ancestors sent us.
It starts with this, showing up, right?
Yes, and I learned from the best.
Oh,
so I'm so thankful.
shush.
Alaskans, unless their work carries them out to rural Alaska for work, for business, for services, they have no idea what it's like to live out there. When critics of rural Alaska don't like what we're saying or what we're complaining about, they say, well, if you don't like it, why don't you move? So they want us to leave our homelands that we've been at for millennia. The first time we drove around in Washington, D.C., I remember watching a woman walk up toward the Capitol, and I said to myself, I want to do that one day. And I did. When I was 18 years old, I started working in the Capitol. Yeah, I have a lot of Capitol pictures too for when I had an internship with Senator Stevens' office. So lots of DC stuff. I would be a part of these corridors of power, and I'd think of where I come from, and it was just made it so much more important to me to know that we had a voice in this kind of space. Ultimately, to me, that's democracy, is working across the aisle and finding common ground. I like it when people say, okay, we may not agree on a lot of things, but we can work together on this one issue. And I think that's democracy. So to see the ability for the Senate to have a coalition again, and to see the Alaska House have the ability to have a coalition again is really positive. So for whatever's happening in Washington, D.C., in the three branches of government, at least in Alaska, we have a restored sense of working across the aisle to achieve the state's business.